Okay, let's do this fucking shit.
What's up, everybody? We are back. It's a Thursday night. What's happening? Sitting ringside, as always. Well, not as always. I got some big shoes to fill tonight. Roberto Villa, the boss, is
You got
out.
some big old shoes to fill.
Yeah,
I'm Dave Rodriguez, normally the co-host, but Roberto Villa shit tonight. I'm joined always by Rudy Lar, producer at hand, and my amigo up north, Mark normally the co-host. Welcome back, boys. Robert, we all got to start out the show. Happy anniversary, brother, to you and Laura. Hope you're enjoying your evening, enjoying your day, man. But you're not on the show. You're not a real fight fan. I'm calling you out, brother.
Unfortunately, bro, you're not a real fight fan.
you left the asylum to the inmates tonight.
Yeah.
Not a real fight fan, bro.
A great show lined up, too. We will be joined in about 20 minutes from Power Slap Series contenders, Mr. Travis Aragon and Robert Trujillo. They both competed on the very first Slap Series pay-per-view. We're about 2 weeks removed from that, so get some takes on them and get some more insight on the Slap Series going forward. So looking forward to talking to them. We will be talking Marlon Vera and Corey Sandhagen, the UFC San Antonio Fight Night. Touch on that, do a recap on that. Before we get the show started, though, as always, got to do the Berto event rundown. We know there's no UFC this weekend. Mark, we know why. We got WrestleMania, so you got to be a real wrestling fan and not a MMA fan. But we do have Bellator 293. That's taking place at the Pechanga Resort in Temecula, California. 15 fights deep, super legit matchups at the top half of that card. I think there's a Ryzen show, right? Correct, this weekend?
Ryzen card.
Yeah, Ryzen 41. So if you don't stay up all night and tweet and post everything about every fight and watch every single minute, you're not a real fight fan too as well. And we do have in the boxing realm, we do have Anthony Joshua, right, on Saturday night against Jermaine Franklin. So, and that is a show, or it'll be live on DAZN. and it's an early card too. It's on about noon, 2 p.m.
Yeah,
Eastern.
2 p.m. Eastern. There's a bunch of stuff this weekend, man, and PFL, right? You mentioned that.
Yep. PFL.
Yeah, PFL one, also Brendan Loganey, Marlon Moraes. There's a bunch of stuff Emmett posted up at fightbookmma.com as well as YouTube of all the pressers, the pre-fight interviews. So definitely go there and check us out on the YouTube, on the Facebook, or any type of social media. Shout out to our brother Emmett Glenn. So yeah, PFL definitely some good matchups on there. Of course, Rob always knows about 7 other events and MMA, boxing, bare knuckle. I can't duplicate the Rob intro, but I tried to do my best, man. So, but yeah, it's a great weekend of fights, and it ends up with WrestleMania, right? 2 nights of WrestleMania, right, Mark?
Yeah, it's 2 nights now. It's 2 nights now.
Man, what did they even charge for that now? Like $100 a night, or what is like?
Honestly, I don't know. I have my TV mates, so I just watch it. So I don't know what people pay for it anymore. It's on Peacock too. So unless you don't have Peacock, you have to find another way to find it.
Yeah, because I don't even know where to. I mean, I think I did watch last year's WrestleMania, but I know that's been the trend is that they do a 2-night deal, and there's several different fights. I think didn't Logan Paul fight on last year's WrestleMania, right?
He's on this year's WrestleMania. It's his last one on his contract.
Well, I got to tune into that and check that out. Logan Paul and steal the show this weekend.
Oh, he's gonna. He's actually done really good. I'm impressed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually impressed with him.
From what I've seen, definitely, and I'll have to check it out because no UFC. Bellator looks good. So does PFL, and it leads right into WrestleMania. So definitely looking forward to that. So yeah, we could. I mean, shoot, you guys watched everything unfold in San Antonio, right? Last week, lots of controversial
pieces of it I watched. Bad judging and just
Yeah, man, just all around. All the events in Texas were kind of controversial, man. From Fury to the UFC to, I mean, there was just so much bullshit that happened, man. You know, from the refereeing to the judging.
Always in Texas. Everything always fucks up in Texas. I don't know
what
why.
What are you talking about, bro?
I'm kidding, Rudy.
Canadian.
I think the only time that everything kind of the stars were aligned and it worked out really well, we talked about it, was that UFC Austin card.
Austin card, bro. That one was fucking fire.
That was one of their better events.
It fizzled out before it even began, man. I don't know. It started off with like 15 fights, and it ended up like 11 fights.
10 fights.
10, yeah. And
it lost the Cape fight even when about at the beginning of the card, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it was dropped about partially through the prelims.
Yeah, it was a snake bitten card, and yeah, I was kind of disappointed we weren't able to see that matchup because we did talk about how Alex Perez has just unbelievable cancellation record. I mean, I don't know how you have that.
I gotta send you a meme of it. He has like all the people that like so many canceled fights. It's not right.
Fucking guy, bro.
Yeah,
he's got the worst luck. He's got the worst freaking luck.
Well, we kind of called it. We've seen that the writing was on the wall, and I think there was like talks earlier in the week where Manel Capa got interviewed and said that if Perez did in fact dropped out of this fight, or you know what I mean, or withdrew, that he's going to be indeed cut. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise, and we all know now that being cut from the UFC is not always like the kiss of death.
No, it's not. Well, not anymore. It's not. It used to be, but now it's not.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll probably see Alex Perez in PFL or Bellator or so, and there has been.
Bro. I don't think that guy is gonna be. I mean, I doubt it.
Eagle FC?
Nah, I don't think. I mean, would you invest in a guy that had so many canceled fights?
But has it always been his fault, though, or has it been other people's fault?
Shit.
That's true. He has a bad reputation. Well,
it's not a bad reputation. It's just like, bro, you have bad luck.
Yeah,
you know, and the times that you've had a chance to show what you've got. I mean, what didn't really.
Right.
And
he hasn't really.
Whatever.
Hasn't impressed the way he should have.
And the unlikely sandwich of the night fight, I was truly shocked, was in Joe Kwani and Duraya fight, right?
Oh,
I mean,
bro, that was just boring, man.
Yeah,
that really took the steam out of whatever I was enjoying that night. And then the main event too, man. Just it wasn't the Cheeto I was expecting. It was 100% the Corey Sandhagen I was expecting, and man, he put it on him, bro. He fucking put it on him.
Yeah, I counted Corey out, but I definitely gave him a lot of credit, like as a game planner. And man, did he study Marlon Vera, and just his movement has always been great. But man, he's landing the knees. He got the takedowns. His previous fight, he just tired out his opponent. Like, he's a gamer, man. And I mean, we all picked Marlon Vera. We were very wrong. And it wasn't a Marlon Vera performance, but I don't know what the deal was, injuries or something coming into the fight. But definitely wasn't him. But credit to Sandhagen, and I pretty much called it, boys. I told you it's the Merab fight. And afterwards, he gave respect to Merab, and that is indeed the fight that they need to book. I heard there was like a talk to Umar Nurmagomedov against Merab, but I think Sandhagen, the Sandman and Merab is indeed the fight to make, right?
Yeah, that's a fight to make, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
and then
Merab doesn't want to fight Aljo, you know, that's the fight to make.
Yeah. And I have no disrespect to Umar. That guy is a tough cat too, but he will get his shot eventually. I think things will sort itself out. But Sandhagen has pretty much put a stamp on he is right there. And then I guess you got Sean O'Malley, you know, and he has said he's not going to be the backup for the Aljo title fight. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe he gets that matchup. I wouldn't mind seeing the Sandman against Sean O'Malley too. So
that would be a better fight in my opinion, man. That would be a better fight. That should be a fight to make to see who fights Merab.
Yeah, Merab and we will get a better take on like what's going on, real matchmaking, because we'll have Ray Longo on next week. We'll talk about that with him. Talk about a couple of his other fighters. So should get interesting, man. The bantamweight division is about as stacked as it's ever been, and apparently, well, there is some outside the cage news that involves that particular title matchup. We will get to it. But did you guys think Nate Landwehr fight was going to end any other type of way than him winning the way he did, right?
Oh, that was killer, bro. The dude's an animal, man.
Yeah. Never count out Nate Landwehr in a fight until he's what did I say? He's basically reincarnated. What's his name? Can't think. Damage. Darren Elkins. Yeah, he's basically the new Darren Elkins. So. I love Nate Landwehr, man, for sure. Macy Barber, Andrea Lee, somewhat controversial there. You were talking about it, Mark, before we went live. So,
yeah, people are not too happy with it. Even Barber's fans are saying she lost that fight. So it's like that's bad.
Yeah, that fight, she definitely lost that fight, bro.
Yeah, like when her own fans are saying that she lost the fight, you know, you lost the fight. Come on, give her a rematch at least. You know what I mean, or something. Run it back.
Yeah, for some reason in the co-main, I picked Santos and Tapology, but man, I never really picked against Holly Holm, but Holly was pretty dominant, and it was a Holly Holm type of win, right? Like, that's just the way it went down.
She Holly Holmed it.
Well, the one of the fights that was kind of shocking was that CJ Vergara fight. Like, I don't know, man. They should have stopped it. He was getting his ass beat in that first round, and he survived. And he was just running away from Lacerda. It was a cool win, but it was just, I don't know, bro. Especially after what happened on Friday near that Fury event. You know, that ref just letting a motherfucker getting choked out unconscious, and he didn't stop it. And then the guy transitions from the choke to an armbar and like nearly breaks the dude's arm because he's not tapping. He's unconscious.
That was fucked up.
Yeah, bro, that ref got a lot of shit.
Yeah, no, that wasn't cool. That's a Team Oyama guy too. I'm friends with Coach Oyama, and definitely fuck that guy, that referee for sure. I'd like to talk to Coach about it, but fortunately, I mean, his arm wasn't broken, like you said, Rudy, but basically he was unconscious in an arm bar. And
that was very shocking to the MMA community, man. You know, when we saw that. So seeing just kind of the beating that Vergara took in the same fucking state too, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, damn, it's not a good look for this Texas State Athletic Commission.
No, it's not at all.
I don't know, man. There was just a lot of controversial shit that happened in Texas as far as fights goes this past weekend.
Yeah, and speaking on that note, on the controversial side about the main event, our boy Joel Ojeda getting a bunch of shit, you know, for his scoring of the fight for Chito Vera. Ended up being a split. So I don't know. People are people are mad at dude right now. You know what I
He
mean?
must,
they're
you know,
mad at
he
him,
must have seen
bro.
something. Maybe he's seen something that we didn't see.
Man, Joel's a good dude. He's top notch. He's seen a lot of fights. I've known the guy for several years. He's been in the cage with amateur fights, to absolute killers all the way to the top. So for him in the judging realm, that's a little bit different. I know he's judged plenty of fights too, but always for Joel, man, he was getting some harsh criticism over the weekends.
Yeah. I mean, what fight were you watching, bro? I hate to say it that way, but honestly, it just seems like you might have been judging with your heart, which isn't a bad thing. I honestly, I've seen a lot of fights, bro, and I've called them like thinking, hey, this person won, man, and I rewatch the fight and take out the emotion and realize, man, I was fucking wrong. There's no way he won this fight, So sometimes people get it wrong, man.
Yeah.
Big whoop.
My cousin says we watch fights on you.
It shouldn't happen, especially at that level, man. Main event.
Yeah.
I don't know. It happens though. It happens in boxing. It happens in every combat sport, man. Just people make a mistake, man. Maybe they're just caught up in the moment. I don't know, man. I can't speak to that. I'd like to talk to him and find out what he scored. Just looking at the stats. I mean, Cheeto didn't win a single round, bro. Watching a fight, Cheeto didn't win a single round to me. For me, it was disappointing, and I was going for him, man. I was going for him. I was rooting for him, but man, as soon as that bell rung, you could see Sandhagen he had something different, bro. He had a different pep in his step, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, he walked him down right away, and that was his approach to the fight. I kind of seen it being that way, and him getting those takedowns. Like, I mean, yeah, he's seen a path to victory and studied Marlon Vera ultimate game plan. He's going to be hard to kill, man. Sandhagen's only lost to the champion, so like we had mentioned, there's the O'Malley fight, there's the Merab fight. I don't know which one they do. I don't know which fight I like better, but Rudy, you said you do like the O'Malley matchup, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
that would be a good fight. That'd be a fun one to watch.
Stand and bang.
Yeah.
Two guys that aren't. I don't know, man. Maybe Sandhagen would take him down because, I thought he was going to stand and bang with Cheeto, and he was taking his ass down. He had a different kind of approach. So I don't know, man. I think he probably would take O'Malley down, man.
And I think didn't Marlon Vera already try to get a fight scheduled with Peter Yan too as well? He was already saying something on social media that he wants the Peter Yan fight to just run it, get back in there and get back on the horse. So I like that matchup, and I don't know if it's in the best interest of Sean O'Malley to stay away from Merab. So maybe they do the Sandhagen fight. I mean, I don't know. O'Malley claims he's getting the title shot. We shall see. There's some
Merab he'll run through fucking Sean O'Malley. Peter Yan. I thought honestly, Peter Yan won that fight.
He did.
I'm not bitching about bad decision or whatever. I don't care, man. It is what it is. It's spilt milk. I'd like to see him run it back, but then again, I don't. I'd like to see someone like Merab, get a piece of Sean O'Malley and take him out, bro. Take him down a notch. Because I think that's a motherfucker who would. Another motherfucker who would is Corey Sandhagen. This is a higher level, you know what I'm saying? And you could see that in the Peter Yan fight. It was just, I don't know, man. I don't know how they gave him that fight.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the backup, so we know there is probably talks of him competing like on the big card, like the International Fight Week or so. So we know we're about a month out from Aljo and Henry Cejudo doing their thing. And in my opinion, like no pyramids necessary, but they will appear at some point. I don't think that fight's going to happen. So
wait, do you think there's going to be an interim title fight there instead?
I think
there could possibly.
I think Triple Cringe is he's cursed, man.
Yeah, there's something to it though. We'll get to it later in the show. There's something that happened, but as far as we know, the fight's still intact. And as we get into next week's show, like I said, we'll talk with Ray Longo, and we'll hear the real deal scoop from Coach Longo about what's going on. Because Aljo is ready to go. I know, in fact, that's the truth. So, but Henry, let's see. Overall, in this UFC San Antonio card, what do you grade it? Mark, You guys know me. I'm
Four,
pretty hard.
maybe? 4, I guess.
Yeah, man. I gotta agree with you, man. I don't know, dude. It was just I watched the whole thing and I watched them all, so it's not like I wasn't watching the event. If I have an opinion on something, I'm gonna make sure that I know what I'm talking about. And I saw the whole event, start to finish, and definitely like 4, bro. You're lucky it's a 4.
Well, I'm gonna shock you guys, and I'm gonna give it higher than what you guys are. I'm gonna give it a 5, only because my boy Donald Cowboy Cerrone, Hall of Fame,
That's
made
right,
the
dude.
call for me too. So
You know what? I'll bump it up to a 5 just for that. They gave him
Mhm.
a Hall
Yeah.
of Fame there here in San Antonio, Texas. It was pretty cool, man, to see him, and they walked his family out. Holding his kids, his son. That was awesome, bro. Good,
yeah, if
good
they
for you,
didn't do it,
Cowboy Cerrone. Right off
Yeah,
into the
yeah,
well
sunset.
deserved. Very well
if they didn't
deserved.
do it in Texas, they could have. If they had came back to New Mexico, like in Albuquerque, that'd be proper. But my question is when are they gonna put Diego Sanchez in, man? Like Diego, Carlos Condit, like when are the New Mexico boys gonna get their shot too? Because I know,
For sure, but I don't know about Diego. He said some questionable things. He's been kind of, he said some things where he wasn't too happy. So Dana White might be a prick about it. And
No,
who
Dana White
knows?
wouldn't do that, bro.
No,
Yeah,
you don't think
No.
so?
And I don't think getting to the Hall of Fame is you have to go through Dana White to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think so, bro. I don't think so.
and I
Tim.
mean, Diego is when you think of the UFC, like Diego Sanchez is a name that you think of.
Well, of
There's
course.
no other way. Like Cowboy, much respect. Cowboy is Cowboy. Of course, both of them were never champions. I mentioned Carlos Condit. Carlos was the interim champ, but like those were the golden years of the UFC. You know what I mean? And like, there's not a big list of people that are in the UFC Hall of Fame currently, but Cowboy very much deserving. Diego 1,000% deserving of being in the Hall of Fame. Carlos, we'll see, but I have a feeling both guys. Maybe by next year, if the UFC decides to come back to Albuquerque, it'd only be right that they put Diego Sanchez in the Hall of Fame as soon as they can do that. Right? That should cap off UFC San Antonio. Yeah, not the best fights, some controversy. It was shrouded in pyramids, and you had Cowboy getting in the Hall of Fame, so it kind of somewhat balanced out. But yeah, we will. We don't have any UFC this weekend. Like I said, we will talk some Bellator, some PFL. But before we get to that, our guests should be joining us. Rudy, if you want to let them in, Mr. Travis Aragon, Robert Trujillo, who both are MMA fighters as well. Before they're involved in Power Slap series, Robert is an undefeated fighter in MMA. Has an amateur record of 10-2, 5-0 as an MMA fighter. Travis, of course, has fought 2 as well, and they are familiar with the Albuquerque fight scene, fighting out of Pueblo, Colorado as well. So.
Yeah, and there was Power Slap is going on, man. I think there was an event last night. They're still doing that every Wednesday. They didn't they didn't really push it too hard on social media.
There we go. We get our audio connected to Mr. Travis here. Travis, can you hear us, brother?
Robert's joining right now too.
Travis, can you hear us, brother?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, it's going, man.
Hey, can everybody hear? Robert, you there? Travis, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right
I don't know
on.
if Travis. I can't. Oh yeah, there we go.
And I can hear you, Robert. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us, man. Thanks for making the time. Robert, I know I talked to you last night. You said you had your training and scheduling down and kind of had to adjust that to make the time. So we definitely appreciate you jumping on with us, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me, man.
Yeah, you still going? Are you training right now? Are you headed to training? I know you said you're because you're up in Pueblo right now. Right?
No, I just got a few people at my house right now, so I just came to do it in the car. That way, it's nice and quiet.
Gotcha, no problem.
I can hear you guys now.
Travis, you there? Welcome. We got your audio. You're good to go, brother. Yeah,
Sorry,
well,
brother,
welcome.
I was eating a bowl of chili. How
Hey.
you doing, bro?
No, welcome to
Thanks,
the
a little
show,
down.
guys. Yeah, you're
Right
on
on,
with
brother.
You're on with my producer, Rudy Lara. He's from Texas. Mark Andrew Miller's Canada. I'm New Mexico. Dave Rodriguez. Roberto, the boss, he's out this week. So I got some shoes to fill, and I'm hosting. So, but welcome
Nice,
again,
bro.
guys, to the show.
Right on, bro. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and
thanks for having me.
yeah, Travis, I was listening to an interview that you had last week with Slap News about what was a week out, and I know you just had a surgery, right? The orbital bone surgery, right?
Yeah, I just had it on Monday, man. So face is a little swollen, but in good spirit, bro. Just want to get this recovery going, man. This is probably the roughest part right now is the first 5 days into this, man. Just waking up, eyes real swollen, just a lot of fluid coming out, real swollen. I was real swollen yesterday, man, but the swelling has went down dramatically, bro.
Yeah, because I remember hearing your interview and you were thinking you weren't going to have any type of procedure or so. And then I seen on your social media that you had gotten it done. And I was making sure everything was good, that you'd be able to join us to talk about it and your recovery. And hopefully everything is going well for you, man.
Yeah, brother, for sure, man.
Yep. And Robert, if anybody didn't watch the Slap series, you started the show off with the bang, man. And I know I've seen you before because I did actually see you fight in MMA, man. So when I seen you on the show on Power Slap, I was like, definitely know that guy. And you're recently coming off a win against a guy who I'm pretty familiar with, in Derek Perez. So yeah, man. So it's good to see you out there. And then of course reached out to Travis. He suggested you come on with us too. So
Sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, man, thank you. Like I said, me and Trav actually we started training together about 11 years ago. And for when the gym broke apart, I've been training out of town, but for us to come back together and do this event, I mean, it's been awesome, you know what I mean? So it's been super cool.
Yeah, because I know out in Vegas, you guys all trained together. I mean, you guys were all together in the fighter in the house and that. So tell us about some experiences, man, that you guys had, like off camera, stuff that got interesting behind the scenes, just so anything you guys could share with us that happened out there in Vegas.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a crazy time living in the house. I think they literally only showed maybe like 4 days of stuff that went on. I talked to one of the producers and he said that they only air about 1% of everything they shot. So a lot of the stuff they shot it was literally like 2 or 3 nights worth of stuff, and they didn't really show too much. The fight weren't they have fights shown like on the first few later. So I mean, it was different.
Are we all there? Sorry, froze up just a second, bro.
Yeah, froze up a little bit.
Okay. No, Travis, I know, like I said, I heard your interview with the Slapstreams breaking down your matchup. It was somewhat controversial, man, because like you were talking about like the fouls. Like I thought after 3 fouls, like it would be a DQ. It was sort of weird, you know what I mean? You unfortunately had the injury happen in between, but we knew your opponent, like you were mentioning, like he knew he was in for it, man, and it was kind of shitty the way it went with the fouls, and then you not be able to get him one last good time in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. It really hurts because, this is why we're here. This is why we're supposed to stand in front of our opponent, take the slap, like, man, bite down, do what we got to do to take that hit. Unfortunately, he was, a little scared to take a hit. I would probably be a little scared too, especially after Azael dropped him twice in the second and third round. I knew he had a weak chin, man. In his first match that he won, actually, anybody could take a club hit. Anybody could. I didn't even budge when Don Kennedy hit me in the second round with the club hit on my ear. Didn't even phase me, man. It just actually makes me more mad. But I knew Reese had a weak chin. I was gonna, I said it from the beginning. I was gonna put him down, and unfortunately, it went down like this, bro. I was, pretty disappointed about it. I mean, I ate 2 of his hits. I mean, the first hit he actually fractured my orbital up here, and the hit was just super high, man. And then I got 2 good swings on his ass, and if I would have connected, I would put him down, guaranteed. But unfortunately, he had to, hit me again, and I was already fractured at that point. But I just dug deep, told myself, let's take this hit, Trav, and let's keep moving forward, man.
Yeah, and credit to you, props for keeping it cool and proper. Like you said, you want to be a professional out there. There's a lot of eyes are on you guys. You know what I mean? It was the first time ever that that event happened. So, yeah, unfortunately, like, I know, I hear in the interview, I definitely feel you, brother. And I'm glad, like you said, the surgery went well, recovery time. We know there's talks of Power Slap at 2 in June. Is that a little bit too soon for you to get back in there? I know, Robert, you want to get back in there competing on the MMA side as well as Power Slap series, right?
Yes, sir. And that's one of the main reasons I did do this. Is me and Travis were from small towns. I'm sure you know where Little Raton's at.
Yep.
Our population is maybe like 5,000 people here, so it's hard to get recognized. And I did do this to be seen by Dana. Like I wanted to go impress him. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping. I'm hoping they're gonna give me a fight on the Contender Series. I mean, it's bound to happen. And if not, I'm preparing for a fight around June. Even if it might be for like LFA or Fury fighting, something like that. Yeah, I'm definitely back preparing for a fight. I poked last night, so my eyes all jacked up. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been back to grinding. I was training before, but I was trying to work on things I feel that would benefit me for the power slap side. So I was just doing like a ton of leg workouts, neck workouts, and just trying to build my power in my lower body and my neck strength. Because and people talk about chin strength, but it's all your neck that absorbs the hit. It's not really your chin. Your chin's just the spot getting hits, but it's all the neck strength on how to take the hit.
Yeah, and what do you yeah, I know they asked you about it before, but what about the lightweight belt? Why didn't they present a belt and have you guys compete for one? What was the case with that?
So actually on the show, I went into the show at welterweight, and I fight as a bantamweight, 135, and I went into the show on the 170 class. I don't really weigh like 154 or around there, But and they ended up having to pull me because I couldn't. I was trying to make weight and I couldn't. Really. It's harder to gain weight than it is to cut weight, So I'm there eating my ass off, water, just trying to put on a few pounds, even just like a few hours before weigh-ins, that we could try to hold on to it. And I was only getting up to maybe like 157 at the max. And I asked if there's any way, because he only weighed, I think, 165 himself. I was asking if there's any way we could do a catch weight and maybe have him drop to 160 and I could meet him there. And unfortunately, they didn't let it happen. So they brought in another lightweight for me, and I knocked that guy out on the show.
Yep.
And then the guy I knocked out here on the live show, he was actually the number 2 ranked welterweight, and he actually dropped down to meet me at 155. So they had him ranked number 1 above me. I was a pretty big underdog and everything like that. And I think they just didn't have the value yet. They don't have too much competitors in my division yet. Assuming once they get a few more guys, though,
Yeah, no, it's still early. I mean, these are definitely the early stages. That's why I'm glad to have you guys on. You guys were on the first pay-per-view. So, like I said, Robert, when I seen you step up there, I was like, I definitely know that guy. I've seen you fight before in New Mexico. I've covered a lot of fights on the New Mexico scene. So, but yeah, as recent, like as I said, with you fighting Derek Perez. Fortunately, I didn't make it up there, but I know a couple guys out of Pueblo, Nate Cullison. I know you fought on cards with him before. Isaiah Torres. I'm sure that's a guy you guys probably trained with as well too. So. But yeah,
yeah, they're all my little buddies. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. I've known about them for a couple of years. So, but yeah, when you stepped up, I said, okay, and you handle business right out the gate. So. But Rudy Lara,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so guys, what's it feel like knowing that you're part of history in the making?
The feeling is just, it's unreal, man. It's like a dream come true. I used to sit on the couch, me and my homies, we used to be drinking beers and stuff, and I'll be telling my buddies I'm going to be fighting in the cage. And that was about 12, 13 years ago. So I had a little late start going into MMA. Been doing it for about 11 years, just me and Rob. And just being on the bigger stage right now is, it's crazy, man. You really want to try to block everything out when you're getting out there to go compete. And yeah, the feeling is unreal. You want to keep it professional as possible. I mean, that's what I went in there for, man. I went in there to do work and strictly, and to get the W. And the outcome came like this, you know.
I don't think a lot of people quite understand the reach Power Slap had, man, and the kind of exposure you guys had. You know, millions. We're talking millions of views, regardless of what the haters want to say, man. Because you guys got a lot of hate. You guys got a lot of hate. I remember I was watching the event. I love anything combat sports related, man. MMA, boxing, kickboxing, you name it. That's all I do, man, is watch fights. And
Nice.
Power Slap, when I first heard of it, you know, I'd seen it before. It wasn't Power Slap. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, man, I was just like, what? I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna watch it, and I enjoyed it, man. I liked the way it was produced. It was just like the Ultimate Fighter, man. Just watching everything the way it went down, and it was cool, man. I enjoyed every single episode. Damn it, my dogs.
Yeah, man. I mean, like Trav said, it's super surreal. I'm actually getting memories on my phone, you know, from like the first qualifier event. It was actually last year in March. And, you know, from going from then, you know, like I thought it was a scam at first, you know, even me and Trav heard about it and Trav told me about it. And at first I was like, damn, this shit can't be real. Like, they're gonna invite us out to Vegas to slap people in front of Dana White. You know, I'm like, there's no way. And you know, the closer we got, Trav ended up having a MMA fight, and he had a small injury, so unfortunately, they didn't clear him to go. But I ended up going, and you know, I didn't really expect it to be on this stage that it's on, like right now. You know, like we did the event, and we didn't hear back from them for maybe like 6-7 months. They hit us up around October and said, "Hey, we're gonna be casting for the TV show," and I was like, "Oh shit! Like this is about to be real," you know. And just like you said, man, I mean, like I know Dana's getting he's it's growing for sure. Like you said, there's a lot of hate, but at the same time, you know, Instagram doesn't pay based off comments. You know, they pay based off the views, and whether people are hating on this or whether they love it, you know, they're engaging in the videos. And you look at all the views that all the slaps are getting, and they're up 10, 11 million views, and the UFC views are at 1-2 million views, you know, so it's getting a crazy amount of views. And I feel like it's going to keep growing, you know. It's like you said, it's going to be history, especially being part of the first ever group.
Yeah, man. It's just insane the amount of clicks you guys are getting, and the haters don't seem to understand that. You know, you hating on it is making this
It's helping us
it's
out.
gonna
Yeah.
make it stay, man. Yeah, and I'm one of those people. I just started seeing all the hate and all the comments. I'm like, you know what? I like this even more. Now I'm gonna fuck with people, and just piss them off, you know, and just tease them about not being a real slap fan. Oh man, people hate that shit online. They're like, what are you talking
Yeah, man.
about?
Yeah, Robert always a few comments from and stuff like that, but we always seem to get together and kind of hit him back on a few comments, and you know, we let him know what's up.
Yeah, like, you know, I could deal with all the comments because, you know, at first, when I first heard of it, I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, these dudes slapping each other? You know, I thought the same thing, but you know, actually competing in it now, like I tell everyone, like, dude, I'm way more nervous backstage to do this shit than I am for a fight, you know, because in a fight, I could do everything in my power to defend myself. This, you just got to stand there and hope you got the chin for it, you know.
Bro, no,
But
you gotta hope that you go first.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man, that's like a huge advantage. But you know, it's a flip of a coin. You know, I saw a lot of people complaining, saying that's not fair. But hey, it's basically a coin toss, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, a lot of people, they feel like, you know, winning the coin toss does almost guarantee you win. But I think they drew up the statistics on it, and they said I think only about 51% of people who win the coin toss win, and I think like 19% of them win by knockout on the first hit. Which, you know, in the live event, me and Travis both lost the coin toss, and we both walked away as winners. You know, so I mean, it could go either way.
That's what made that your fight so special, man. That was cool. I like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm glad I was able to show him. You know, everyone was kind of questioning if I could take a hit or not. So I'm glad I was able to go out there and show I could take a hit from a much bigger guy. You know, and he was honestly one of the hardest hitters in the division, in the whole competition. So I was happy I could go out there and show, you know, I could take a hit from these people. You know what I mean?
Go ahead, Travis.
And what kind of sucks about that too is we didn't get to see the coin flip. It was, you know, it was done behind closed doors, and pretty much every blue corner we all lost the coin flip. So you know we're gonna get hit. Like me and Robert, like you know we're gonna get hit. So let's just do what we got to do and do it, man. Like we came together as a group backstage, and you know we had the Lord's prayer in us, and you know our power is God given, man. And we could, I know me and Robert, we can eat you know hits all day. You know, a lot of it's in the neck, but a lot of it's in the legs too, man. It's just you got to have control of your whole entire body when that hit does hit you, man. But it's a fucking rush, man.
Yeah, man. It just watching it, man. Just watching the whole progression of this event and the sport. It's been something else, man. Seeing from the first episode, you know, there was like congressional meetings about it. You know, the people in the government were talking about it, saying how bad it was, and I'm like, you know, this is ridiculous. I've seen way worse. This is nothing. Have you people never seen X Arm? That shit was awesome. Do you guys ever see that? That was extreme arm wrestling. They would beat the shit out of each other. I love that, bro.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many different type of combat sports now. I know, like you said, there was a slap before Power Slap. Is actually JT Tilley. He runs the Slap Fight Championship.
There you go. That's what it is.
Yeah, and he's actually sent over Darius and Wolverine to be the coaches for Dana's show. And I mean, that guy, he has a bunch of crazy stuff going on. Like, I think he has like a tire boxing event. He has a Karjitsu, actually, you know, where people start off.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
you know,
so
we know a lot of people. We talked to the owners of Pillow Fight Championship, bro.
Yeah, I saw that shit too. I'm like, that one to me, and that was just funny. But yeah, there's like a ton of different things. People are trying to be creative with combat sports, but at the same time, like I understand there's, you know, like you said, there's the meanings or like, you know, meetings about it. But you know, I honestly don't think a slap is that dangerous. You know, some people do get knocked out, but like most times they do, like it's usually like, I don't know, like I've seen worse knockouts in MMA and everything like that. And you're taking a ton more hits, you know, like I get hit way more. We spar once a week, and I'm getting hit a ton more than that than just a couple slaps.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
so.
You know, compare that to boxing. You're going 12 rounds and getting hit repeatedly. You know, power slap. I don't know, man. I enjoyed every single second. I want to ask you guys. You know, you guys filmed everything. You know, right before the end of the year, right? You wrapped everything up.
Yep.
How did it feel? You know, on New Year's Eve, you know, the next day seeing reports of Dana White slapping his wife. What was going through your head? Like, holy shit, is our event gonna even happen?
Yeah, I had two things going through my head, bro. Yeah, go ahead, Trav. My bad.
No, go ahead, bro. They had me a little scared, you know, but when it kind of got delayed and stuff like that, I knew there was going to be like some, you know, things going into that. But you know, it all worked out in the end and stuff. You know, I don't know if that was more for propaganda or what, but you know, I wasn't about to be posting anything about Dana.
Oh, I did, bro. Yeah. I tease him all the time. But me and
Dana, bro. I had two things going through my head. My first thing is, you know, oh shit, this is gonna get canceled. You know, it's all gonna get canceled. And the second thing is, I'm like, even though Dana doesn't want to be known as that dude who slapped his wife, you know, at the same time, it kind of like, I feel like it helped out the league a little. People Google Dana slaps wife, and then like, of course, the slap league is gonna be like the second thing that comes up under the videos, you know. So I feel like it was like kind of a way of advertisement as well, even though I mean it wasn't good advertising, but I mean either way, I feel like it helped out the show a little bit. And I mean he's trying to keep this going, you know, till the wheels fall off. You know, I feel like he's more invested in this right now than some of his MMA fights, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think. I mean, they fail to understand and recognize that Dana White's a businessman. You know, he's doing stuff to make money, and he's investing all his time and effort in this, and I don't blame him, dude. You know, if you look at the money that just from the clicks, bro, the ad revenue alone, it's insane, bro. So more power to you guys. I want to know what's next. I mean, have you guys heard anything about the Power Slap Series 2 or Abu Dhabi? I heard that you guys were going to be going over there. Have you been called to join in anything like that? Any talks about that?
So we haven't really found out when the next season's going to be. We know it's going to be in Abu Dhabi, and but we don't know exactly when it's going to be. The next live event is actually going to be in May. So they're going to have another live event, but I'm not too exactly sure when the next season will start. But I
So
mean,
if
yeah,
you
that
get
would be
that
cool.
call,
Bro.
are you guys gonna go?
Oh yeah, quick man.
Hell yeah,
No doubt.
right?
No doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you mentioned Robert. You mentioned JT Tilley. I just checked my email yesterday, and we did that press release for. I don't know if you guys heard. Tim Sylvia is actually jumping in
Oh
on the
yeah.
Quest series. So yeah, speaking of JT, he's been a good friend of Robert, the Boss of Fight book, and yeah, man, he's got some shit. I mean, I've known about him for a couple years, and like now reaching out to him,
Yeah, that
promoting his
dude has
stuff.
good connections, bro. He has a lot of good
Yeah.
connections. So yeah, and he's a super cool guy. You know, he's always looking to help out someone. So yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, he's pretty solid, man.
So let me
Hey,
ask you another question, man. Was there anybody, in the house that you couldn't stand?
Dude, honestly, I mean, like I have a pretty long fuse I put up with everyone, you know. But after a while, bro, like fucking dude, we're there and there ain't shit for us to do in the house. Dude, we're cut off from the world, you know. They take our phones, wallets, can't watch TV, listen to music.
But they have a house full of Howlerhead, right?
Full Hallerhead, bro. So every single night.
And that's what I kept telling people. I'm like, man, what do you expect? You're in a house full of dudes, in a slap competition. What do you think's gonna happen, man? It's a house full of fucking alcohol.
Bad.
22 guys, bro. They had a fridge upstairs, a fridge downstairs filled with beer, and then they had their Hallerhead whiskey bottles in every room, bro. Like every room. So of course, I mean, I myself I don't drink, so I'm just there chilling, most of the time all the guys that are drunk, and I'm pretty much like the peacekeeper, there's almost fights every single night, so I'm pretty much there in the middle trying to break everyone up. But yeah, there's 22 guys, living in I think it was like a 9-bedroom. Like it was a mansion, of course, but it wasn't big enough for 22 guys to live in. So yeah, it got pretty heated, like mostly almost every night.
How much of that was because of Azael?
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, the first couple nights of all the bullshit was because of him, because he was drunk and acting a fool. And after that, I feel like he just had a target on his back and everyone picked on him. So it's still because of him. But after that, he was kind of just chilling, minding his own, and people would still. You'd see him crack open a beer, and everyone would get on his ass right away. Hey, put that shit away, bitch! He pretty much had a big target on his head.
Watching the event, like when it first started, I was like, man. I remember I was talking shit to him on Twitter. I was like, man, I will slap the shit out of you if I ever fucking meet you, bro. And we just started talking shit to each other, and he was real cool about it, man. And we ended up being friends.
Yeah, dude, man. Yeah, I was actually a super cool dude, you know what I mean? He's just, he's one of those guys who has a whole different side of him when he's drunk,
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people have that, but yeah,
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
we get, bro.
Have a level shit right there.
Yeah, is that a fight down the road, Travis? Do you think that's a fight you'd take though, Azael? That's your weight class. So I mean, I know you guys are cool. So
No, if they definitely want to line me up with, I think the ones that are going to be on my way are going to be Wesley, Azael, and Emmanuel. But whoever they put me against, I know I'm going to eat it and just keep moving forward, man. I mean, there ain't no intimidation coming from them guys. They're all actually really cool dudes. I get along with them great, but I'm here to go for that number one spot and become champ. That is my main goal.
And I got to ask you too, that one thing that I noticed, because I know there's one guy, forget it, he's the one that he goes barefoot into there. Like you have a choice whether it be barefoot or with the shoes. What are the specifications of the shoes? Like what type of shoe is it, or what can you give us some information on that?
I believe he went in there just because Darius was going to go barefoot too. And I don't even know where his mind was at, trying to just wanted to be real loud, I think, going in there and trying to just prove a point to, I'm going to be going in there barefoot doing things like that. But the point to that is, like, when you're up on stage, the camera's like right on your feet, man. Like you have no leverage or like no room to even like lift your feet. Your feet have to, be planted. When you have your shoes on, you could actually lift your foot in your shoe just a little bit, where they're not going to see that. I just think Reese going in there, not even practicing that, at nighttime. Like me, when I went back to my hotel room that whole entire week, I was just working on my swings, man, every night, just grinding probably 150 swings a night. And once I kind of mastered that, I was going barefoot at first and I actually put my shoes on. And I was like, oh shit, this is going to be this is going to be a whole lot easier for me, man. So when I went in there, my was on the point, on the button every single time. It just sucks that Reese is such a pussy. Couldn't eat one of my hits, and I would have knocked him out, guaranteed.
I was
Yeah,
hoping
and
to
that's
see
the
that,
thing.
man.
Yeah, and
Didn't
about your
happen.
fight too, that's why you said too, it's going to be a lot of like the way the camera angles are. There's stuff that he was doing where the camera didn't catch it. It was super quick. Of course, he got the fouls, but like I said, there were still the early stages. Like I said, what I thought was there's 3 fouls and it's a DQ automatically. You know what I mean? But your fight, like I said, unfortunately, you ended up with a win, which was great. But just what happened was kind of like going forward, it's going to have to be more cameras added in just so the judges can get shit right though and call the
Right.
fight. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, they're giving us that money to go out there and perform. My whole mindset was no fouls, nothing, no pivots, anything like that, man. No clubbing, and I thought I did great, man. But it's
Well,
just like,
that dude, I honestly feel like it's a 3-round match. I feel like they should implement different rules to where like 2 fouls is an automatic DQ, and if it's a title fight, 3 fouls because unfortunately with the shit Reese was pulling, he already had 2 fouls going into the next round, and he got another free hit at fucking Travis's broken face.
Yep.
Because they weren't gonna stop the match yet, and you already could tell this dude ain't gonna go out and try to get hit the next round either. So right there, it should have been automatic DQ.
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Mark, you got any questions for our guests?
No, I think I'm good. These guys covered it all.
The shoes, but yeah, the shoes like you're asking though on the shoe part, dude, they give us probably the most basic, just all black pair of shoes you could find. They can't really have.
The lunch lady shoes.
They look like
Yeah.
they're from.
Dude, they're like fucking, they're like McDonald non-slips, bro. But
So they didn't
yeah,
give you
they
the
can't
shitty.
really have.
I guess those are better than the Rock shoes, right?
Yeah, way better, bro. But yeah, honestly, they're just like they can't have too much logos unless it's a company they're sponsored by or something like that. So they're just plain black shoes. Like Travis was saying, you could slightly move your feet in them a little. So what I do, I get my shoes like a half size bigger. That way, my feet do have a little bit of moving room in there.
Take the
And that's
soles
kind of
out,
a little,
bro.
yeah, that's kind of a little trick I have to myself. So
Yeah. And then going forward with the, because I know there's the Monster logo that's on the shirt or the jerseys you guys wear. Has there any been talks about like sponsorships you guys could obtain on your own or coming forward where you guys get a cut where you're paid or paid for what you wear out there?
man,
I
I'm
don't
hoping, bro.
be putting sponsors up on us, but it'll be nice if Venom comes forward or any other kind of big
Yeah.
sponsors forward to do that. We're all for it, man. And I know
Yeah,
they pay
'cause,
pretty.
like going forward, you never know if we will get royalties from some of these companies. Like if you look deep into our contracts, I didn't really look too deep either, but I have my manager that kind of looks over them, and like there's even a release form for like a video game in there. So I don't know if they're like gonna try to design some type of just like little VR game or something basic, because there's not really too much of a video game you could make off of this. But I'm sure there's like maybe in the UFC they could do a little side portion. How they
They
used
can
to have
make a
the
mobile
fight.
app,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a mobile game, and we slapping
Yeah,
the shit
yeah.
out of each other.
So I think they might do something with it, bro, because like I know a couple of the guys even got their bodies like video game framed, you know what I mean? Like where they go put all the shit on them.
But for
everything
sure,
like
you guys should be getting royalties from Howardhead.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I definitely thought like when I was first watching the event, watching the show, once I seen the pay-per-view, I was thinking, the outfitting, there has to be something there. Like you said, Venom, or if you guys are wearing a certain type of hat, certain type of shoes, pretty sure going forward, that is the plan. It is a growing sport now as far as Dana White being in charge now. But yeah, it's cool to have you guys on. You guys competed on the first ever pay-per-view.
Well, I
And
think Monster was one of y'all sponsors, wasn't it?
Yeah, they sponsored the whole event. Monster, Slate Milk. I know they
Right.
have like a coffee and a protein. Kudos popcorn. And there's a few other ones, and they have to be. I remember I was in the gym one day and I was sitting on a body armor stool, and one of the guys like, "Hey, we got to get that out of here, man. You can't sit on that stool." And it's just because even though Body Armor sponsors the UFC, they don't sponsor the Power Slap.
Right.
So, it's contracts and everything like that. They have to get together. And
I'm
I
excited
actually,
to see.
yeah,
I'm excited to see more women in Power Slap, bro. I remember seeing that Hungarian hurricane, slapped the shit out
Yeah,
of some chick,
yeah.
and she like did a somersault. I was like, holy shit, that was awesome. I need more of that.
Definitely
She's
need some more
actually
women,
my
women up there.
yeah, dude, they need a ton more women. So
Definitely more women. Definitely more women.
we're hoping she gets an upcoming match. Well, unfortunately, the girl she went against, I think it's because she got fucking embarrassed on TV. I think she thought she was gonna win. But this girl went and cried to Fox News and said that she had a brain injury from getting slapped.
I've
I'm
seen
like,
it.
I saw that, dude. I think it's because she got roasted, man. She was just embarrassed.
well, that, and I feel like the people that got knocked out in the first event and the power slap people and bringing them back on these other shows, I feel like they're trying to chase clout in some way they can, So they're, even if it's them bringing down the company, I feel like they're gonna try to chase clout any way they can,
Yeah, it's pathetic, bro.
Yeah, honestly, bro.
Yeah, did you guys happen to meet our buddy? He was on the show a couple weeks back. Paul Teague.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah,
that.
he was the guy that went against Slap Jesus with like colorful hair, Trev.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I've seen
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's pretty cool. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he was cool. Yeah, he was cool. Yeah, there's a ton of people there, like you said. I mean, there's a lot of the guys had, some type of fighting experience. Some didn't. That's actually one of the only comments that gets to me on fucking the internet when I'm looking at the internet. I could deal with all them talking shit, saying, "Oh, slap this, slap that." But when they say, "Why do these guys act like they're real fighters?" I'm like, "Bitch, look me up." You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, like you said, there's gonna be love, there's gonna be hate. I honestly feel like if people watch this at a live event, they're gonna love it, bro. Like one of the events during the house, Daniel Cormier was actually sitting next to me, which was super cool. And he's like, man, I saw a couple videos, but I didn't really watch this in person. He's like, how is it? And I was like, watch this first match, bro. And dude comes out and knocks this guy out on the first hit. Daniel Cormier jumps out his seat, and he's like, "Oh shit!" He's like, "I gotta get out of my seat for this one." He's like, "I'm gonna watch this next one up close." And like Daniel Cormier, like I saw that UFC even posted a video where he's like, "I'm watching this for the first time." Like he's super hyped, and everyone's like, "Oh, he got paid to say that." Like, dude, I was there, bro. It was his legit like reaction. Like he would like love the shit. You know what I mean? Connor likes it. There's a huge side of people who likes it, and then there's the huge side who don't. But I mean, like you said, regardless, it's gonna keep growing.
The side that doesn't like slap fighting, that's a side that's full of pussies, bro. They're just weak ass men that are trying to impress these internet chicks that are never gonna fucking bang them. It's like, bro, get out of here with that shit. If you don't, the way I see it is like, if you don't like something, just don't watch it. Why are you investing all your time to hate on it? But guess what? When you hate on it, it just brings more revenue to it. So keep doing it. Keep doing it. A win-win either way.
It's like a win-win, brother.
Yep.
Yeah, they're commenting, viewing it, and that kind of puts it out to their crowd every time they comment on it, So they're just inviting more people to see the reels, pretty much. And yeah, dude, like I said, I mean, like they keep finding people to do this. The fan side's there. Most people rent fights or go to bars to watch fights because they're drunk. They want to see a knockout. It's all they want to see. You see people complaining whenever fights go into like a technical grappling match, people complain about it. And with this sport, I mean, you're almost guaranteed to see a knockout almost every match, So I feel like the fan side is for sure there.
And my favorite thing about it was one of my favorite things about it was midweek. It was on a Wednesday, perfect time slot, not a lot going on midweek. And I was sitting there with my wife and kids watching slap fighting every Wednesday night and enjoying the hell out of it, man. It was fun.
The crazy thing, I don't know if you could speak from this point since your kids watched it, but bro, the kids love this shit. Everywhere here around where I'm from, dude, the little kids love it. Like they're like, "Oh, like, hey, you're the guy that smacked that guy," and like all of them are just, my friends send videos of their kids like slapping a little dummy that they have or something like that. It's crazy how much the kids like it, bro.
Yeah, they like it, man. I had to, keep my daughter from slapping my son.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
She understood after a couple episodes, like, can't go around just slapping people.
You can't just...
There's rules to this, despite what people on the internet say.
I'm sorry, what was that? I didn't hear that one.
No, I said there's rules to this, despite what people on the internet may say.
Yeah, exactly, man, exactly. And like I said, it's like I don't feel it's like as dangerous as they think. You know, you're gonna see knockouts in fights, you're gonna see knockouts in kickboxing, and of course you're gonna see knockouts in this. But you know, most of the guys, I don't think anyone's been seriously injured. You know, they got knocked out. You know, they're all
not,
right.
not like that one cat in Texas this past weekend, Fury FC. Did you guys hear about that? This dude gets choked out, and he's there for about a minute, and the ref doesn't stop it. So the dude that's choking him out decides, you know what? He's not moving. Let me go for an armbar, and he starts sinking in an armbar, and like the dude's not tapping because he's unconscious, bro. But
Yeah.
check it out, man. I mean, the MMA world was fucking livid about it. They're like, what the fuck? This ref should lose his job, and he should be in jail. People are going off on this guy.
Yeah, and a lot of it does come down to refs, you know, just even with this new sport, you know, the refs and the judges will call something on one person and they won't call it on the next, you know. So like I said, once they dial everything down, you know, it's gonna be safer for sure, and it's gonna be a lot more there's gonna be a lot more sportsmanship to the refs are calling it right. But at the same time, there's still gonna be mistakes. And that's with any sport, you know.
Yeah, I tell people, you know what? It's not gonna get any safer than having Forrest Griffin catching you when you fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and we did talk to, we had a UFC ring announcer, Joe Martinez, on the show last week. He's up for a contract renewal with the UFC. And we asked him, you know, would he be involved in the Slap series and being the official announcer? And there's probably a good chance Joe might have some involvement there. So we had a great conversation with him last week. And that's just part of the sport growing. Like, if they're going to Abu Dhabi, it wouldn't be, like, you're not going wrong with having Joe Martinez out there presenting the show.
That's awesome, bro. Even with Bisping being the commentator right now, I feel like he has like great ass voice for commentating. Like he sounds like he was meant to do it, you know. And of course, Dan Haley is always good. He's been doing this type of business forever, so Dan Haley's a good commentator. But yeah, I mean, to have Joe Martinez there too, I mean, that'd be super sick.
Bro, Bisping, he really enjoyed it, bro, and you could tell that he was enjoying the shit out of it, and that, that made it so much better.
Bisping loved me. He was just really, you know, roasting my fighter a lot, dude.
He loved
last week. You know, so he brought a lot to the table right there, man. He's good at what he does for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's gonna call it as he sees it, no matter what. Bisping's the real, definitely. Yep. Mark, did we lose Mark or okay? I say Mark has any other quote, but no. If you guys have any shout outs you want to give it, your social medias, wherever we can find you. I know Robert, like you said, you maybe have a MMA fight cooking with LFA. If that's the case, man, brother, you're welcome to jump back on. We'll talk about it, get you going. Travis, I know you're in recovery, but when the call comes, I know you're going to get out there and make it happen. And I'm anxious to see both you guys in there competing, whether it's in MMA, Slap Series. Just let you guys got love over here at Fight Book MMA for sure.
Right on, brother.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us, man. Thank you for having us.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, any shout outs you guys want to give to anybody? The floor is yours. Whoever wants to go first.
Give a shout out, you know, to my hometown, Trinidad, Colorado. Just, you know, everybody that supported me, you know, social media, everybody out there. Big shout out to my buddy Rob. You know, great support right there, man. And we'll just keep moving forward in the sport, man, and proving everybody wrong. That's what we do.
Yes, sir. Like give a big shout out to Raton. You know, we're two small town dudes and we're going up there, you know. I know Travis beat a guy from Detroit. I beat a guy from New Orleans, you know. So we're showing what us smaller guys are made of. And, yeah, definitely a big shout out my boy Trav. You know, like I said, we've been holding it down for a while together, and we're going to keep pushing. Shout out Bloodline Athletics. They're my main sponsor. My guy, my dude, he makes all my walkout gear for all my fights. He runs my fan page on Facebook, Robert the Real Deal Trujillo, Real Deal _ Trujillo on Instagram. And yeah, I mean, and thank you guys for having us as well. And it was awesome podcast. Glad we were here.
Hell yeah! Thank you guys so much for joining us, man. It's been a pleasure for me because I've been a fan of Power Slap since day one, and man, I'm excited to see what's next for y'all, man.
Yeah, man. Like I said, the next event's gonna be in May. It's gonna be on a Wednesday again, like you said. So I don't know exactly the date yet in May, but it's coming in May, and so everyone expect more fights. They're actually showing one fight every Wednesday on Rumble from. So at the live event, Dana had a pre-event on Thursday, and they were just making sure all the production and everything went in line. So they had I think maybe like 10 fights on that Thursday, and they're gonna show them up until the next live event now in May.
Yeah, I was talking to the guys about that before we started. That there was an event yesterday, and I missed it. I saw the highlights. I was like, damn it, I missed it. I didn't want to miss it. I like watching this shit, man. I love it. So
yeah, man, it's definitely fun. Like I said, the show was great. I had like my whole little town watching. All of them were actually like super interested. They're like, even if you weren't on this, we probably would like this show. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. Like, it's fun. It's cool.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna keep growing, man. It's gonna keep growing, and we'll be here through it all. So yeah, we definitely like to jump on some more once the next matches get closer. Once I have some more fights in line, hopefully, I'm hoping to have that UFC contract by the end of the year. And like I said in my interviews, be a two-sport athlete for them, do the power slap and the UFC hand in hand. So
we got the Jackson here. We're gonna call Robert the Bo Jackson of MMA.
hell yeah, dude.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but thanks again, guys, for making the time for Fight Book tonight. Like I said, Robert, Travis, reach out anytime. Reach out to Rudy. If you got something cooking, we'll be able to put out some press and some information on the website. And everybody that's watching and or listening, follow Travis, follow Robert, follow Fight Book MMA. It was a pleasure having you guys on. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, man. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Badass, dude. That was cool, man. Having both of them on at the same time too, David.
Yep.
Super cool, man. That you're able to land that.
Hell yeah, brother. We appreciate it. Until next time, brothers.
Yep. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate you, sir.
Right on, brother.
Yeah, reaching out to Travis. I wanted to get him on, and definitely wanted to get some people on from the Slap series. There hasn't been a whole lot of interviews done with them, and him and Robert are tight. They went out there and showed out on the first pay-per-view, so that was great. Good stuff. We will continue to push the Slap series. And JT Tilley, we do need to get him on the show as well. I know Robert wants to get him on and talk more slap stuff. You know what I mean? So, Robert, if you're listening, make it happen.
Bro, these he'll be a first dual UFC combat. He's basically gonna be doing power slap and UFC. That'd be cool, man. That'd be cool. That'd be a first.
He's been competing on
Robert is just a true beast in the cage, man. Like his willpower and his willingness just to win is unreal, man. Because I fought in the cage and I have over 24 fights under my belt, and like watching Robert come out and just watching him just with his mentality, bro. Like he could be fighting the biggest dude in the cage, and he's getting taken at that point, and his just determination is just unreal. That's what I got to give Robert, man. His heart is unreal, man.
And the record he has is amateur. He got plenty of amateur fights, 5-0 as a professional. So, like, I have seen him fight before. That's why when I seen the Power Slap start up, the pay-per-view, so I definitely know this guy. And then so happened he's a New Mexico guy, so 100% got to support him. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. Right on, brothers. I appreciate you having me on, bro. And till next time, bro. We'll keep you guys in touch, and we'll go from there, brothers.
Right on, man.
We'll do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
all right, brothers. I just want to give a shout out to my girl Dallas too. She's a big support in my life too, and want to give a shout out to my little buddy Chris Gurley. We were playing poker about 2 weeks ago, and he wanted to see what it was like to get a power slap. So I said, "All right, bust the phones out, let's do this." And hit him about 35%, and I knocked the dude out cold, man. But that's something I'll send you a video of Rodriguez so you can check it out, bro. It's pretty funny. Okay. But he took the hit more than Reese could ever do. That's for sure, man.
Yeah, send it my way. Definitely want to check that out.
Yeah. All right, bro. I'll send it off to you. But hey, yeah, keep in touch, guys. We appreciate it.
Take it easy, man.
Right on, brother. Bye.
Yeah, man. I missed the event last night. I wanted to watch it. I'll probably watch the whole thing tomorrow. I'm off for the next 4 days, so I'm gonna enjoy it. Bunch of fights. I'm gonna relax.
You're off here
the past 2 weeks and kind of tired, man. I don't want to travel anymore. Just want to chill.
Yeah. Well, you got plenty of fights to catch up with this weekend, and you better be watching every single second of every round, Rudy. As you know. But we could do some quick takes, some quick picks on this Bellator 293 card. It's kind of a super necessary card. Mark, I know you're gonna showcase. You got the shirt going, right? The Jeffrey shirt. There it is. Yeah.
There's like 4 Canadians on the card tomorrow. There's like, I know a couple of them, but I know one for sure. Obviously, Aaron Jeffrey. And there's one facing Adam Piccolotti. So
yeah, it's out in Temecula too, California. That's my cousin Brian's out there, and he's become pretty good. He's into combat sports now. He's listening out there. Shout out to my buddy, my cousin B Rod, out there in LA. So, but yeah, we do have. Yeah, it's 15 fights. So Bellator's got this pretty stacked.
Yeah, they always have a good amount of fights on their cards.
Yeah, this one's freaking deep, bro. 15 fights.
And it's a heavyweight main event. So I mean, we know what happens with heavyweights in Bellator. So
this is an easy money event too, man. Just going through this card and the odds. This is an easy money fight, bro.
Yeah, we got Kat Zingano against Leah McCourt, co-main event.
That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I don't know. Rudy, you don't have the odds queued up for the fights, right, in Bellator? Because John Salter and Aaron Jeffrey, I mean, Jeffrey showed out last time, and I mean, he comes in there.
A minus 400 favorite, dude.
Nice.
Salter's plus 290 underdog. I mean, he lost.
Yeah, Salter's taken. He's had a
2-fight losing streak.
Yeah, he competed in grappling, but he has fought Masasi. He's fighting Joe Kawani. He's fought some killers in Bellator.
Yeah,
so
he fought Johnny Eblin.
And Eblin is one of the best guys on the planet at 185, without a doubt it. So, but Aaron Jeffrey, best mullet in all of combat sports. He goes in there with that mullet. It's kind of hard to take that guy out, man. He's super legit. I like Aaron Jeffrey in the fight, and as he should be the big heavy favorite.
Yeah, he's going to take over that number 3 spot after he takes Salter out.
Yeah, and Kat Zingano's a heavy favorite. 380 minus 385 favorite, plus 270 underdog for Leah McCourt. I don't have Leah McCourt winning this at all.
No, she's just, like Zingano's gonna probably win that. Like she's gonna win that fight. She's gonna probably decision her, but of course, just trying to get her name out there with a big name. But I don't even know if she's ready for Zingano, to be honest.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems somewhat
that's
of a
big step ahead for her. Like she's still pretty green in the sport, you know what I mean, for McCourt. So that's a big step ahead, like big step up for her. So we'll see.
Yeah, and the guy you're referring to, the other Canadian fighter, is Mendal Nalo against Adam Piccolotti. Yeah,
so that one's gonna be a good little fight, I think. Piccolotti's a fun guy to watch.
It's the main, or it's the prelim main event before the main card. That fight that takes.
They always have a shitload of prelims too, Bellator. I love it.
They have like the dark limbs, or what do they call them? The post limbs, right?
Yeah, they have post they have post ones.
Yeah, so there'll probably be a few fights that are. I'm looking at Tapology. I'm thinking, several of these fights will probably take place afterwards. Like there's
at least 2 or 3 after the actual main event. There's like 2 or 3 after the main event they put on.
I think Piccolotti's going to lose that one. And he's the underdog. He's fighting against your fellow Canadian Mandel Nallo. Rat Garbage. I like his name, bro. I want him to win just for that nickname, Rat Garbage. But he fights at a Tri-Star gym. Yeah, man. That's what I love about Bellator, man. A lot of the fighters, these matchups, they're very evenly matched up.
Yeah, because there is fighters on this card, like I mentioned, they're 1-0. There's a fighter that's 0-0 making their debut. So those are
they give a lot of people their shots and all that. Like they used to have it where they had each card, they had like service, like people that were in the military, the Navy, the Army, all that shit, fight each other, who were. So that was always cool to see. That I loved. But I don't know if they're doing that anymore.
And then Bellator coming correct with their basic poster design. They're just like basic. Put it out there, red and white, and some pictures of the fighters, right?
Yeah. Very basic. Not as bad. Well, which one do you like more? This one or the one that I showed you for the official poster for
Oh man, that's the heavyweight fight, right? That is Curtis Blades fight. That Rudy.
Yeah, the Curtis Blades fight.
Oh, that's garbage, dude.
Yeah.
That's the official poster for that. I was like, that can't be the actual official poster. I'm like, no, it's UFC posting it, so yeah. I give that a 2.
Yeah.
I give that a 2.
I like the fight a lot, though. I like Sergey Pavlovich and Curtis Blades. It's
Oh,
super
that's a good
necessary.
fight, but there's the poster is just garbage.
Yeah.
Pavlovich by KO.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to count that guy out at all. We'll get to
No.
that. That's like 2 or 3 weeks out, or that's 3 weeks out, that fight.
Yep.
So.
Well, yeah, it looks weird, bro. I don't like this post. I like that it's high res. You know, that's what I really enjoy about the Bellator ones is that the Bellator posters, they might be plain, but they're very high resolution.
Yeah.
And I'll give it to the UFC on this one because these pictures are high res. I don't like that it's black and white.
Kind of plain Jane, kind of like,
it's black and white, kind of like, you know what? Oh, black and white. Everything's black and white in America, bro. That's all they ever focus on. It's fucking annoying. But yeah, the writing, the lettering is kind of stupid. I don't know. I don't like this, man. I don't like this poster.
Well, yeah, I mean, Sergey Pavlovich is going to KO his way to the title. I said it before. So.
Well, I mean, if he can get through Blades, then I'll definitely agree with that assessment. But for right now, I haven't seen him really fight anybody that's
That's fair.
That's as dominant as a wrestler as Curtis Blades.
Yeah, Blades has got man. I mean, he's only lost in
Blades' wrestling is where it's going to be very dangerous for Pavlovich, but
because you're not going to have any of that power when you're on your back. You know what I'm saying? And
exactly,
I don't know, bro. You know what I always say about strikers versus wrestlers? You got to be an exceptional striker too, and an exceptional takedown defense artist to defend against somebody like Curtis Blades. Good luck, man.
Yeah, because Sergey, the way he's been fighting, it's just all out. Like the first minute or so, you got to survive it, and he fights like a heavyweight should fight. Like, you know what I mean? And if Blades can't take a shot, Sergey is gonna land something. And Blades hasn't been the fastest starter. You know what I mean? So that's why that fight is interesting. And if Sergey goes out there like a tank that he's been doing, that's going to be a very bad loss, but necessary because Sergey's got to put a stamp on it, and that way he's chiseled in against the backup for John Jones. We know Jones and Stipe is still not official.
I think it is now, isn't it?
It is official now.
That is official.
Happening July 7th, if I'm not mistaken. July 8th.
International Fight Week.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, it took him 3 years to fight, before, so let's see how long it takes this time.
Yeah. But speaking of posters that are not too shabby, I want to touch on the PFL 1, the 2023.
I like that one.
Yeah, and it's taking place in Vegas at the Virgin Hotels where they just had the Marab fight.
Okay.
So they're kind of reverting back to kind of the old school style because I do like the venue. I really do. It's main event is Marlon Moraes. You know, Marlon, longstanding UFC guy, fought everybody, all the best dudes against Brendan Loganey. Brendan's coming in pretty confident and but definitely expecting the dog and Marlon Moraes, the guy that.
Well, it's a homecoming for Moraes. You know what I mean?
Cool,
it's a homecoming technically for Moraes because what was PFL before? World Series of Fighting, where Moraes came from, right?
Well,
so it is a
Marlon Moraes hasn't showed me anything in a very long time.
I know he hasn't, but
I don't think he's going to show us anything any different.
Till he kind of got caught with that shot in the gut and started slowing down. He was beating Cejudo in that fight, though. So,
and Loganey's he's been on the run, Loganey, because I think his last fight, Bubba Jenkins, it was a war. They went almost like the 5th round or 4th round. He stopped him. And I love Bubba Jenkins, man. I remember Bubba Jenkins in the old school days of Bellator. Yeah, man. So in PFL, there's some low key matchups that are just fire, man. And this is one of them. And the co-main event of Rob Wilkinson and Thiago Santos.
Oh, that's going to be
Let's
great,
go Santos.
Bro. That's going to be a great
Let's go Santos.
I don't know, man. Santos really hasn't done anything for me either. And Wilkinson, is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, right out the gate, he draws Wilkinson, but who else is he going to fight? Thiago's been fought the top guys, John Jones, the best guys in the world. So I like the matchup. Also, former UFC, he just recently got released, Christoph Jocko against Will Fleury. So that's the third to the top. That fight is legit low-key. Low-key, Fleury is like a guy that's got some serious momentum and some high hopes. And the PFL, that's a good organization to be fighting for. And he's coming off of didn't he compete in Cage Warriors, right? Or what was his previous organization?
Who are we talking about?
Or no, he was in Bellator before, but he was like in UAE Warriors or something like that. That's where he came from.
Who are you
I think he
talking
might have
about?
been.
The
Fleury.
Jocko versus Flurry fight. Flurry.
Oh,
Yeah, I think he was a previous champion of UAE, but that's a great matchup there. Bubba Jenkins is also on this
Wade,
card fighting.
that's a
Chris
rematch.
Wade.
That one's
Yep.
gonna be a rematch. The Wade and Jenkins one. That should be a good one. Wade is a huge favorite for that one, though. Like he's 70% to finish by KO. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's also Josh Silveria. I think he's a former UFC guy there competing. So yeah, there's some old school. Impa
Impa
Kazanganay.
Kasanganay versus Corey Hendricks.
Yeah.
He's opening
That's
up.
the
I
start
think
off the
that's
card.
his debut, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, and then just to start off the card with that fight, that's good, man. This PFL card's going to deliver some great action, some great matchups here, and
Gonna be fun.
yeah, this is their first. I mean, to kick things off, I mean, it's 11 fights, and you know, ESPN. If you got the ESPN Plus subscription, you can catch them from the start to finish. The main broadcast is on ESPN, so definitely be tuning in this weekend because Bellator,
For
you got
sure.
pay for Bellator, got to have ESPN, you got to be a real fight fan, and you
And
got to buy the
Bellator's prelims are on YouTube, so
And we got boxing.
Yeah.
And you can watch the reruns of Power Slap on Rumble.
yeah.
the overload of everything combat sports. You better be ready this weekend.
Bro, that was super cool, man. Having Travis and Robert on. That was cool, man.
Mm.
Oh yeah. And we will have some more slap series guys on sooner than later, let me tell you. So that's why JT, I know Rob has mentioned JT having him on the show. That guy's the original, you know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to have him come on. And the Tim Sylvia fight, how soon is that? That's like what, next month sometime?
Yeah,
right?
I think
Or
so.
yeah, people are hating on
What
that.
weight
too.
class is it going to be at? Heavyweight or super heavyweight?
Oh, it's probably super heavyweight.
Bro, I'm like I said earlier, man. I'm excited to see more women in slap
Oh, yeah.
fighting. I don't want to
Yeah,
see
Courtney
that.
Olsen, she just looked really stupid after all the complaining that she was doing, like you said, Rudy. Like the chick that did the rollover after,
Oh,
like
dude, that shit was hilarious, bro.
she never should have done it. She should have stuck to what she did before. You know what I mean? Showing off her muscular thighs and crushing watermelons.
Oh my god.
Well,
Pathetic.
no. But before we close the show out, boys, I think we got to hit that certain topic of the show. before we
Outside the
close.
cage?
What topic?
Outside the Cage News.
Well, we
Yes,
got
sir.
a couple fight bookings that are coming up, and yeah, like you said, Connor and Gaethje.
Yeah, no, that's what I want to start with. Outside the cage news is Justin Gaethje being pretty vocal, saying if Connor gets the shot, he's going to quit the UFC. I kind of don't blame him for saying that. Somebody's got
I
to
don't
say
blame
it.
him either.
And there's nobody really that can say it if your name's not Justin Gaethje or Dustin Poirier, right?
Mhm.
Because that's
If
kind of
Poirier
the
and
fight.
Gaethje both leave, could you imagine? That would shake that whole division up if they both took off right now.
Oh, they're probably about to fight again. They're probably going to
Yeah.
be a rematch. So.
They probably will.
But what do you think, Rudy? Gaethje walks. Connor gets the shot. We know he's going to get the shot. If he smokes Chandler, they're going to give him the shot.
If he smokes Chandler.
Yeah, if.
I mean, the
That's a
dude
big
hasn't fought in a
freaking if,
while,
David.
and Chandler, and he's although he's lost. I mean, look at how he lost, and look at his recent wins. The dude's a fucking truck, bro. He's a Mack truck, and get it? He's gonna be fighting Matt Gregor, so he's a Mack truck. He's gonna run him over. I don't know, man. I like the fight, man. I love Connor. I love this fight, man. It's just it's a great fight. I'm excited to see how it plays out. But Chandler, dude, that's one scary ass dude, man. If he can rush in and connect on Connor, dude, it's over. It's over, man.
I think it's so
Connor's
weird that
size, dude, he's fucking massive now.
Yeah, he is.
Shit, they haven't announced it though. Is what's kind of pyramid about it? Because it's like, why is there
They
not a
haven't? I
date?
thought they have.
No, there's no date set for it because it's still.
Oh, they just verbally agreed to it. That's all it is. They verbally agreed to it. They haven't made it official.
The reason they haven't put a stamp on it yet is because they're waiting for Connor to cycle through all his shit before they start USADA testing.
I
No, I'm serious. That's definitely
know.
gotta
I
be the
know.
only reason.
I know.
Like,
I
why do you
think there
think
was a
it took
clause in the contract about that. I have to look it up, man. I remember talking about it a few episodes back where there was a clause in their contract where they weren't going to be testing USADA testing up until closer to the event.
I wonder how many times did John Jones get tested in 3 years away from the UFC?
None.
Like, where are those numbers? Where are those stats at? Whoever's out there.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be disappointed if they just said Justin Gaethje and Connor, because that's like the fight that the jungle wants, and we've been wanting it. And I mean, we know Gaethje's not going to wrestle, even though he can.
No.
Yeah, and then Chandler, he's a crazy motherfucker. You know, he's not going to wrestle. He's
No.
going to want to
He
stay on
can
the
wrestle, but
combat.
he's not gonna.
Yeah, no, he hasn't wrestled in his last 5 fights. So, yeah, we know what's
Which he
going to
should
happen.
have probably, but
Hey, but then again, you got Tony Ferguson out there with no fight booked, and you never know what they're going to do there. Tony Ferguson, I don't know. That's always been
it's
the
gonna end up being
heat.
Connor and Tony. Watch, it's gonna end up being Connor and Tony in the end.
Yeah, and then Connor smokes Tony, and it'll be sad.
That'd be funny if Tony takes out Connor, bro.
Yeah,
That'd be
well,
great, honestly. That would just be hilarious.
Well, if Tony comes in with that mohawk with the shaved lines and shit, I ain't picking him out. Like, I'm not going against Tony in any kind of fight like that. But if he comes in bald and like just, I don't know, looking weird, and I don't know, the last couple times kind of felt bad for Tony. They threw him to the wolves, and he said Dana White's like a piece of shit, and he fucking treats his fighters like garbage. So he's probably going to get fed to some killer soon.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get fed to someone nasty.
Yeah, he's on the bad side of Dana right now.
Mhm.
But continuing outside the cage news, I don't know if you guys heard the story of the triple cringe. Fortunately, he suffered a pretty nasty cut in training, and that's kind of interesting because we will talk with Ray Longo next week and
I
find
can't
out.
wait to talk about that with Coach Longo next week.
Yeah, and Ray's been pretty vocal too. He's called out Colby Covington, told him to stop with that shtick because he's talking about John Anik and his kids and all kinds of shit. So shout out to Ray Longo, man. He's the man, and we will talk to him next week because Ray, he's friends with John Anik and Kenny Florian. They do their podcast, and Ray's a frequent guest on there. So that's why.
Yeah, he's a
Ray's
very frequent guest on that show. I think they even have like a T-shirt with his face on it, bro.
Yeah, so we got plenty to talk about with him. We got the Chris Weidman potential comeback on International Fight Week, the Marab fight booking, whoever from Rob's going to draw, and we got the world champion, Aljamain Sterling. So leading into next week, that's definitely some great topics to talk with Coach Longo. So, but yeah, with Cejudo suffering the cut, I don't know if that's an early excuse or what the case may be. I want to hear Ray's take, and that's about it, you know. So, but to end the show, we have some fight bookings, some super necessary, legit fights that are booked, starting with our boy Tim the Dirty Bird Means. He's fighting Alex Morono, and
that's going to be a good one.
When is Tim not in just like an action dog fight? Like, man, like when he doesn't fight any other way. Like, he's never matched up against somebody he's supposed to just run straight over, right? Like, I mean, those aren't fights that Tim Means takes. So
yeah, it's gonna be a badass fight, dude. I like Alex Morono. I like Tim Means, but I got to go with our boy, Tim the Dirty Bird Means.
Damn, too bad they could. Well, where's Nick Diaz at? When are they gonna? I was hoping it was gonna be Nick Diaz and Tim. I don't know. Nick Diaz will have a fight book soon. He's one guy that's still out there that's kind of forgotten. You know what I mean? But you can never forget about Nick Diaz. I mean, he still is an active UFC fighter under contract in 2023, which is pretty damn crazy.
I would love to see Nick against Tim Brady.
Man, well, there is some other great fight bookings. Josh Emmett is jumping right back on the horse, and they're trying to get Ilya Taporia as the champion as soon as possible. Rudy said that he'd be the champion, you know, in about a year's time. He's going to be there. He smokes Josh Emmett. He's right there for the title, no doubt about it.
Oh, he's going to smoke him all right, bro. I like Josh Emmett, but dude, Ilya Taporia is on another fucking level, bro. And that dude, he's got some bad intentions with everything he throws, man.
Yeah, after the fight with Bryce Mitchell, when he just mopped the floor with Bryce, we knew something special was going to happen, and I was not surprised. I just didn't know it was going to go down like that. But definitely, Ilya Taporia, we called it. He will indeed be the champion at some point, guys. Like that's just how it's going to go down. So, and that fight is June 17th, so it's booked out as far as June now with the UFC matchmakers, and I think it's a headline bout too as well. It's like a fight night headline.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, and then I think there is a replacement fight. Jake Matthews is out. Unfortunately, I love Jake Matthews. Gabe Green is going to fight Brian Battle, and that is a fucking war. That's on May 13th. That was just announced yesterday, I believe, as well. Ian Gary against Daniel Rodriguez. Like, you talk about a nasty matchup. Like, man, Ian Gary, his time to come and prove his shit is right now because Daniel Rodriguez, that's a dog fight right there.
That's be a very grinding dogfight. That one, I think.
Yeah, and I think what was the other one? The Corey Anderson and Phil Davis to add to Bellator 297 because Sergio Pettis is fighting Pitbull for the titles. So they're stacking up Bellator as well for 297 in June. So the month of June, we all know the UFC brings
I think it's
it.
gonna be the same night as the UFC fight. I think they're gonna do a battle that night. It's gonna be at the same time.
Keep in mind the following month, July 8th. We're going to have Stipe Miocic versus John fucking Jones, UFC 290. That was confirmed. Per the MMA Hour, Stipe Miocic did confirm that fight is going to happen. So I'm looking forward to that shit, bro. Super.
Stipe's retirement fight, you think? Last fight, do you think? Or
the what?
Stipe's last fight, win or lose?
Quite possible, man. I mean, if he loses, there's a high probability that if he wins, I don't think so. I'm sure he'll sign a contract to get a couple more fights. But if he loses, I think he might say, it's over.
Depends how he loses, right? If it's like a quick, nasty knockout or something.
Oh man, something crazy is gonna happen, and Stipe is gonna somehow
knockout come from John Jones. I don't see that, man. John
Jones
it's
been a while since one of those actually.
Beat you down kind of guys.
Stipe KO this far out, calling it.
Wow,
it's quite possible, bro. It's quite possible, man. But I ain't gonna go against John Jones.
We'll bring those pyramids up as the months get closer.
There's a couple coming up because I'm hearing a lot of things that people are like, oh, certain people are going to sign here. They've matched what he wanted, and from the company. So I think we might see a certain somebody sign with PFL soon.
Yeah, so maybe they'll have an event in June too. PFL Ngannou headlining, and they'll have Bellator.
Apparently, they've matched everything that he wanted from the UFC. They've matched it, so I think that's going to be the next big signing that we're going to hear of.
Shout out to PFL. Yeah, Ngannou need to be making them millions, not those 500K paydays. Come on now. But either way, there's some huge fights on the horizon, and as recent, like I said, as yesterday, hearing that Ilya Taporia Emmett fight, that just goes to show you that the 145 and 35 divisions are probably not only the most active, just the most talent that they've ever had in the history, including the Jose Aldo era, the Conor era. The UFC's been doing their matchmaking duties right at bantamweight and featherweight for sure. Because you still got Brian Ortega out there. Like, who's that guy fighting? Yeah, that's how deep it is. But before we end the show, we talked about it before. The Dominic Cruz Cody Garbrandt fight. We're a little bit close to that happening. The rematch. I heard. So,
yes, we are just a little bit closer.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of necessary. So add that fight to International Fight Week. Like, why the hell not? But that's the show, I guess, boys. Another Thursday night in the books. Some great guests tonight. Robert Trujillo, Travis were great. We got the insider info on the Slap Series, and hopefully eventually we'll all meet up at one of the Slap Series events and go cover it Fight Book MMA style, you know what I mean? So we'd love to see that shit live, you know what I mean? Rob's been to the Bare Knuckle, Rudy, we've all been to MMA fights, but seeing the Slap Series live, got to be dope, in Vegas, wherever they do it. I don't know how soon they take it on the road, but in Vegas at the Apex would be pretty dope, and see our boys Robert and Travis compete too as well. So.
Yeah, shout out to those guys, man. Thank you for joining us on the show tonight. That shit was fun, man. I I like interviewing people, man, getting their perspectives, especially asking them about the Dana White slap incident. I've always said, man, if I get these guys on the show, I'm going to ask them about that because, I mean, I'm pretty sure what went through my mind when I saw that shit went through their mind, and that was crazy, bro.
Super legit guys, just real cats, and yeah, they're knee deep in the mix with the slap series. So we'll continue to push their fights and see what's next for them as well. And for us, of course, like I mentioned, everybody's watching and they're listening. Next Thursday, Ray Longo, don't miss it. Ray's the man. We got a lot of stuff to break down and talk to him about. And Berto, he'll be back. He's enjoying his night. So, Rob, we'll catch you next week.
Happy anniversary.
We'll catch everybody next week, same time, same place. This is Sitting Ringside, episode number 166. For all the latest combat sports news, go to fightbookmma.com. Check us out on social medias. Hit us up, YouTube. We got all the content there. For myself, Dave Rodriguez, Berto Villa, the boss, you ain't here. We love you, brother. We'll see you next week. Rudy Lara, producer at hand, and our amigo up north, Mark Ambu Miller. We'll catch you guys next week. Enjoy the fights.
Peace. Phoenix.